What's up, guys? This is Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with the overall market and talk about this key resistance we're going to be testing. Just know that I am not a financial planner. So, as far as Tesla's going, we're looking for this 315 areas resistance and also at 321 now. Those are going to be our very, very key EMAs. I do think Tesla's going to try to push towards that resistance again, but I want to warn you guys to be very careful because if we don't close or hold above that 315 zone, although we may push up here temporarily, there's going to be a risk of us turning down a little bit because of what I'm seeing in the market right now. When you look at SPY and the others, we're pushing well, but there is a slight bearish divergence. I wouldn't be surprised if we do kind of fight resistance. If SPY could break 620, yes, we're going to remain bullish, but if we fail to do so, we could be turning back down towards the low of the day. Basically, that could be retested by the end of the day. And then if the whole market were to slow down a bit, we would see Tesla sort of like follow that trend if that ends up being the case. So, the daily is looking pretty good on Tesla, but I do want to warn you guys there's tough resistance at this 315 to 321 area. And I think that although we may push temporarily, I would be very careful right up there. So could we push? I could see us retest, this zone up here, but then this could kind of pivot from there and slow down a bit if that ends up being the case. So just be very mindful of that. Same thing with SPY. The last time we hit 619, we did see SPY come back down to like 615. We need to hold above 620 to be very bullish. And if we can't do that, I think we shop around and maybe slow back down towards 616 at the very least in case we don't hold above 620. So I want to just give you guys a warning about that. Tech is looking a bit stronger. We do have a gap to fill on the QQQ. We're very close to it, but we need to hold above 552 to remain more bullish. If we don't hold above 552, this could also slow back down towards 547, close to the 20 EMA. So be very mindful of that. The IWM is on a very, very nice uptrend, making higher highs and higher lows. Now, if we were to lose 216.5, we would turn more bearish. I think we could be pushing for the low 220s. So we're going to see if we turn back down or not. So keep that in mind. Could be a small push to the low 220s. On ES, we're making higher highs and higher lows. But if we lose 62.36, we're looking for a dip back down. If we break past 62.80, we're looking more bullish. We're kind of in the middle, just trading sideways. Look for a small push closer to 62. 80, maybe a little bit under that. And we're going to see if it turns from there. The last time we did come close to that, we did slow down. So be very mindful of that. Looking at NQ, we're a bit more bullish. We could be trying to get back up to the highs around just under 22,900. If we lose 22,738, we could also dip quite a bit lower. I'm going to be looking for an attempt to go higher back up towards these highs. So you have to see how it ends up going from here. Bitcoin's looking more bullish. We're going to be looking for a move back up towards that 110,000 area. We have a nice inverse head and shoulders here. So I think Bitcoin's going to go a little bit higher, but the closer we get to 110,000, the more I want to warn you to be very careful. Yes, we could push more, but be careful once we hit that resistance. Same thing with Tesla, right? We could push a little bit. We could be looking for 315 or even as high as 321, but then it's a very tough resistance. You might not break past 321 to continue. We could kind of hit this and slow down if the whole market does that. Nvidia is bouncing, but we have to see if this high is taken out around 158. If we break that, we're bullish, but if we come short, we could be returning to 155 to retest our 20 EMA. On Aapl, we're looking more bullish, looking for basically 213 plus. If we lose 208, we're looking for a dip back down, but overall, it is looking a bit more bullish. For AMD, we're looking a bit more bullish as well. If we hold above 139, we're going to be favoring like 142. And if we end up losing 134, we're looking for a dip. So I'm favoring upside for the low 140s. Coinbase is looking a bit more bullish. We're actually favoring the 353 area or above. There could be a small bounce here. We're going to see how it ends up reacting. So keep that in mind. Amazon's looking a bit more bullish. If we end up losing 219, we're looking for a bigger dump. But as of right now, we have 222 as resistance. So we'll have to see how it goes from there. I think it could be retesting 222. And if it doesn't break and hold above it, we might be coming back down to 219. For Meta, I think it's going to be retesting 722. And by the way, it did end up testing the 50 EMA at 711 like we predicted. But we're going to be looking for basically 722 to be retested. We need to break that to continue to push. If we hit that and then reject, we could be turning back down to like 711. Google also is going to retest 180. If that breaks, we're going to continue to push. If not, we could pivot off that. So be careful at 180. I do think we push a little bit more and then we'll see how it goes. Microsoft may also see about that 493 area. That's going to be our 20 EMA, and then we'll have to see what happens as well. Overall, the VIX is dipping a bit as the market remains more bullish, but we'll see how well the market could hold up. I do want to warn you to be careful at this resistance. And what that means for Tesla is that, yes, Tesla could try to push a bit higher. It is technically a little bit more bullish, but I'd be very careful at this zone of resistance. We've been struggling to break past 320. We could try to push again for 315 plus, but then we might turn again back down in case we can't hold there. So I just want to give you guys a heads up about that from what we're seeing in the current technicals. So with that being said, that's it for this one. I thank you all so much for listening. I'll see you guys very soon, and peace out.